A strategy is set in motion as the pod of orcas begins to tighten its formation. Orcas do not approach their target through chaos, but through near-perfect coordination. They divide roles, apply pressure, and create a trap within the open ocean. Even other predators can become part of this calculated plan. When intelligence reaches its peak, who truly commands the ocean? Across the vast ocean, orcas stand as a dominant symbol of intelligence and strength. They live within tightly bonded matriarchal families where hunting skills are passed down through generations. A large brain and a complex communication system allow the entire pod to coordinate with remarkable efficiency. From icy polar waters to tropical seas, this apex predator adapts to a wide range of environments. Through discipline and group strategy, they remain among the most capable hunters in the ocean. In cold and deep waters, stillness exists only at the surface. Here, the great white shark has long been seen as a symbol of ocean power. With a body reaching around 18 feet and multiple rows of triangular teeth, it stands among the most formidable hunters. Even a slow glide can be enough to redirect its target. Yet that strength has its limits. Great white sharks often hunt alone, lacking coordination in more complex encounters. In contrast, orcas move in groups, detecting from a distance through sound and approaching in synchronized patterns. That difference creates a clear advantage. Weighing up to around 12,000 pounds, the orca closes in with calculated precision. A key individual delivers a powerful tail sweep, generating force that briefly disrupts the shark's balance. The speed of contact rises at just the right moment, then is controlled to maintain dominance. When turned upside down, the shark enters a temporary state of stillness known as tonic immobility. In those critical moments, the balance begins to shift. The orca holds position briefly, takes advantage of the critical moment, then moves away. Beneath the surface, the advantage belongs to the one that controls timing and rhythm. The orca is not only powerful, but also understands how to turn strategy into results. Beneath the ocean, dolphins are exceptional swimmers with impressive speed and a highly refined navigation system. They can reach speeds of nearly 35 miles per hour and maintain a steady rhythm over long distances. Coordination within the pod allows them to avoid danger and locate food efficiently. But in the open sea, that advantage is not always enough. At the edge of the gathering, black and white forms slice across the surface, signaling the arrival of a pod of orcas. Under the guidance of an experienced matriarch, the hunters spread into a wide arc formation. Another group dives quietly below, moving ahead to contain the target within shifting pressure lines. To track position, several individuals launch nearly 20 feet into the air, striking the surface to disrupt the opposing sonar field. Once a single target becomes separated from the group, the pace immediately intensifies. The dolphin responds with sharp 90-degree turns, attempting to break the approach path. However, the orcas maintain controlled distance, adjusting their positions with each movement. A powerful surge from below disrupts the dolphin's balance in an instant. As the surface grows calm again, another lesson of the wild is carried forward. The encounter closes as a clear reminder. In the struggle for survival, success belongs to those who control space and timing. Deep within the ocean, Weddell seals are highly adapted residents, with streamlined bodies and thick layers of blubber that help them endure polar cold. An adult can weigh around 900 pounds, enough to retain heat in freezing conditions. When resting, they often choose drifting ice floes, separated from the movements below the icy water. But that sense of safety is only temporary. From beneath the surface, a pod of orcas begins to approach in perfect synchronization. They align side by side, maintaining equal speed before accelerating together near the surface. A powerful, coordinated tail strike lifts a mass of water nearly 5 feet high, crashing into the ice and causing it to shift violently. The seal quickly loses balance as its resting platform tilts toward the threat. If the first wave is not effective, the orcas repeat the tactic with greater precision. They adjust distance and angle, refining each attempt to overcome the seal's efforts to hold position. Once the seal slips into the water, control of the situation shifts entirely to the hunters waiting below. This method, known as wave washing, is not a simple instinct. Young orcas remain with the pod for 3 to 5 years, learning how to read waves, divide roles, and build knowledge across generations. Soon, the polar surface returns to its natural calm. In this frozen boundary, the highest level of adaptation belongs not to raw strength, but to the intelligence of the group. Gray whales are vast ocean travelers, with individuals reaching around 80,000 pounds. With their immense size and thick, resilient skin, they are nearly untouchable along long migration routes. Yet this remarkable journey is always shadowed by an unseen pressure known as the orca. The pod does not focus on the fully grown giant, but on the young calves moving alongside their mothers. When danger appears, the mother gray whale quickly positions her calf beneath her large pectoral fin, guiding it toward shallow waters to form a living shield. The rhythm of survival tightens, as the orca pod spreads in multiple directions, weaving through blind spots at speeds approaching 30 miles per hour. They move in cycles of approach and retreat, maintaining steady pressure to wear down the endurance of the pair. As the distance begins to stretch, the balance shifts beneath the surface. Orcas continuously adjust their positions, taking turns pressing from above to restrict the calf's movement at the surface. The prolonged struggle can last for hours, gradually reducing the calf's strength as the pod maintains control of space. The encounter ends in quiet stillness as the calf falls out of the protective formation. Even a powerful bond between mother and young must yield to the natural order, shaped by a single moment of lost awareness in the rhythm of survival. Along the sunlit waters of Patagonia, the boundary of survival is measured in just a few feet of shallow shoreline. Sea lions move along the edge of the sand, staying about 15 feet from what they consider a safe zone. Here, they rely on shallow depth to avoid threats from the open ocean. But for orcas, that distance has never been a true limit. As the tide rises, the pod begins to adjust positions offshore. One individual accelerates to nearly 30 miles per hour, using the force of incoming waves to surge onto the beach. The moment of contact happens in an instant, enough to disrupt the balance of the target. Immediately after, the orca turns and slides back into deeper water before the wave retreats. In deeper areas, they face a different kind of challenge. Stingrays carry a barbed tail capable of effective defense. The orcas do not rush in, instead keeping distance to observe movement patterns. They select the right angle of approach, where the target has limited time to respond. A precise push leaves the stingray briefly disoriented. The orca does not need to increase pressure, only to hold position and control the surrounding space. With a success rate exceeding 80% in many conditions, orcas maintain their status as some of the most efficient hunters in the ocean. Beneath cold gray waters, a humpback whale mother weighing around 80,000 pounds raises her 16-foot pectoral fins like a steady shield to protect her calf. The newborn, measuring about 16 feet, carries a clear biological limit. It must surface frequently to breathe. Orcas do not approach with recklessness. They observe from a distance and wait for the moment when the mother and calf move into open water. The pod quickly divides roles, with one group trailing behind to apply pressure, while another moves along the flank to force the mother to keep changing direction. Each time the mother turns to shield her calf, the orcas reposition, extending the approach rather than confronting directly. This sustained rotation gradually reduces the humpback's physical advantage over time. What stands out is the contrast in size and strategy. The mother relies on strength, endurance, and protective instinct. The orcas rely on coordination, discipline, and precise timing. The encounter reflects a familiar reality in nature. Size can offer an advantage, but strategy ultimately determines control of the ocean's rhythm. A missed charge can place a lion's authority under immediate pressure. In the wild, the ruler of the savanna does not always control the hunt. A single change in direction at the right moment can render an approach ineffective. Even when facing another predator, a small misstep can shift the balance entirely. What happens when a dominant force finds itself at a disadvantage? A zebra is not just a moving pattern of black and white across the grasslands. It is also one of the most resilient opponents a lion faces on the African savanna. An adult can weigh around 800 pounds, run over 40 miles per hour, and deliver a powerful kick that makes any hunter stay cautious. Behind that ordered beauty is a body built to absorb pressure and respond in an instant. Under the intense midday heat, a lone lioness bursts in from close range and lunges onto the flank of its target. The outcome seems decided. Instead of collapsing under the sudden force, the zebra immediately braces its balance, pivots sharply, and drives both hind legs upward with force. That sudden counter is enough to break the rhythm of the approach, forcing the predator to release its grip and step back to avoid greater risk. During migration, the challenge becomes even harsher at river entry points, where the ground slopes and herd formations often break apart. When a young lion attempts to hold onto a male zebra, the prey does not flee in confusion. It turns and bites back, reclaiming a critical moment, then creates its own chance to break free from the pressure point. In the wild, the zebra shows that not every prey animal simply runs. Some retain the qualities of a fighter, even when pushed to the edge of danger. The lion's authority has never been absolute, especially when facing the African buffalo. An adult male can weigh around 2,000 pounds, with thick, curved horns forming a living shield. With that size, the buffalo is not only large prey, but also an opponent capable of forcing a predator to pay for a poorly timed approach. On the open grasslands, when a buffalo becomes separated and falls within range of a pride, the situation can shift quickly. Instead of breaking apart in panic, nearby buffalo often turn back, regroup into a defensive formation, and advance with collective force. Heads lower, hooves drive forward, and the tight formation is enough to make the lions hesitate. A brief delay can expose a predator to a powerful counter when its focus slips. In many cases, that unity forces the hunters to release the target and move back to a safer distance. Dominant bulls may take the lead, directing the formation, angling their horns forward, and pushing the threat toward higher ground, where close approaches become less effective. With the advantage gone, the lion is forced to withdraw, sometimes climbing onto a low branch to maintain distance. In the wild arena, the strongest answer to fear is often unity, and the African buffalo remains one of the most formidable challenges a lion can face. African wild dogs are a symbol of discipline and collective strategy. Weighing only around 70 pounds, they do not rely on size, yet still make lions cautious through endurance, coordination, and a hunting success rate that can reach 80%. For lions, pushing wild dogs out of a hunting ground helps maintain control over food and territory. For wild dogs, it is a way to protect both their pack and their hard-earned catch. When a lioness chases a single wild dog and unintentionally moves into dense brush, the situation shifts instantly. A pack of around 30 does not rush in all at once, but moves as a rotating circle of pressure around the opponent. As the lion turns toward one direction, individuals on the opposite side close in briefly, then pull back. Pressure from multiple angles disrupts its rhythm and prevents it from securing a target. In the end, the lion can only hold position and wait for an opening to move out. If a lion manages to catch one individual at the edge of the group, the response is immediate. The entire pack converges on the exact point of contact, barking loudly, changing direction rapidly, and disrupting the space around the lion to draw attention away from the trapped member. This is no longer a gradual pressure tactic, but a rapid rescue response. In the end, the proud ruler of the savannah steps away from the encounter and moves toward a nearby tree to maintain a safer distance. Lions are social big cats that live in groups, drawing strength from muscle and discipline. An adult male weighs around 400 pounds, with a mane that signals health and status. Across the African savanna, they often hunt at dawn, dusk, or during the night. Lionesses typically lead the hunt, while males defend the territory. For lions, Power is not only about dominance, but also the responsibility of guiding the pride through the risks of survival. Spotted hyenas are not just opportunistic scavengers. They are among the most formidable rivals of lions, driven by strict group coordination and a bite force of around 1,000 pounds per square inch. In the ongoing struggle for dominance across the savanna, this matriarchal species often pushes back against lions. When one or two lionesses have just secured a meal, they can quickly draw the attention of a hyena clan of around 20 members. A series of calls brings the group together into a wide, spreading formation. They do not rush in all at once, but move continuously, pressing in and pulling back from multiple directions. That sustained pressure disrupts the lion's rhythm, drains their energy, and can eventually force them to abandon their hard-earned catch. When a young lion charges in, grabs a hyena, and attempts to overpower it, the situation shifts immediately. The clan does not scatter in confusion. Their group instinct takes over almost instantly, and the entire pack turns back, moving straight toward the lion holding their companion. The rising noise and steady pressure from all sides quickly break the lion's focus. The African elephant is the largest land animal still living in the wild. An adult male can stand nearly 11 feet at the shoulder and weigh several thousand pounds. Its slow, steady movement may appear calm, but behind that massive form lies strong memory, a tightly structured social system, and an almost absolute instinct to protect the herd. To lions, this is not a typical food source, but a living fortress, challenged only when the grasslands grow scarce and easier opportunities begin to fade. Risk often begins when a pride attempts to approach a calf. They spread out, observe openings, and wait for a moment when the young elephant loses rhythm. But the response from adults is nearly immediate. The herd forms a defensive circle, facing outward while pushing the calf into the center. The trunk, with over 40,000 muscles, becomes a tool for controlling space, pulling, pushing, and creating distance that forces any approach to slow down. The situation becomes more intense when lions encounter a bull elephant in musth, a period when testosterone rises sharply and behavior becomes highly aggressive. Instead of ignoring the lions as it might at other times, the massive animal changes direction, accelerates to around 25 miles per hour, and drives straight toward the nearby group. Within seconds, the balance shifts completely. The lions recognize that in this encounter, a safe retreat is the most effective choice. In this confrontation, lions carry the strategy of hunters, but the African elephant holds the weight of unity and size. Against such a living fortress, even the confidence of big cats must give way. Across the sun-scorched sands of Africa, the oryx stands out as one of the most resilient animals. With a muscular body weighing around 450 pounds and sharp horns extending over 35 inches, it is not an easy target. With these natural defenses, the oryx can make any predator hesitate before closing in. At the peak of the midday heat, two young lions begin to narrow the distance. They lack experience, but hunger pushes them to take the risk. Across from them, the oryx does not rush to flee. It stamps the ground, lowers its center of gravity, and angles its horns directly toward the point of greatest danger, creating a tense stillness across the shimmering sand. That composure changes the entire dynamic. Each time a lion searches for an angle to move in, the horns shift instantly, blocking the approach and gradually eroding the hunter's confidence. After several moments of hesitation, both lions step back and turn away, leaving space to the animal that defended itself through control and precision. Behind every hunt, the ocean returns to its familiar calm rhythm. Orcas do more than pursue prey. They help maintain the harsh order of the natural world. Other predators and prey alike adapt under that constant pressure. In the wild, survival is always a balance between intelligence and discipline. Stay curious, and like and subscribe to continue exploring the hidden rules of the ocean.